I've made additional changes in Photoshop on this one, but this image here, I darkened the surroundings all the way out here using the adjustment brush. And it really made it so I could concentrate in on this area. To make sure that I didn't get any overspray onto the clothing that's here, I used auto mask after I'd already painted across this dark area here to darken it. I'd gotten overspray onto their clothing here. So I said I wanted to erase, and I turned on auto mask, and I just painted on the reddish clothing here, and it was able to take it away. But darkening the surroundings really made the kids that are here pop out. So it's just another example. So I've got one more. This one, let me see if I can get back to what I had earlier. I'm not sure if I'll be able to or not. I might have reset it in a way. There. Okay, here's a version of an image where I just want to show you one thing that was done to it. This has already been adjusted. It's an image from Iceland. I want to show you what I did with the adjustment brush and what I did with one other tool that's similar to the adjustment brush. So in this image, I'm in the Develop module, and if I come in here to the adjustment brush and I mouse over my picture, that's when I'm going to see the pins of where I've initially clicked on my image to adjust. It looks like I adjusted this area, and I also adjusted this one. When you're going through images that you've adjusted in the past, here's how I think about doing this. I can go to my adjustment brush, mouse over my image to see if it has any pins. If I hover over the pin, I can see where each pin is affecting the image. So if there's some change that I want to make, I can figure out which pin do I need to click on by just hovering over each one. If I want to see what it looked like without the change, you have that little light switch. Remember down there? If I turn it off, I'll see what it looked like before the adjustment brush was used. Turn it back on, you see what it looked like after. So you can see I did some brightening that was selective brightening down there. If I want to modify an adjustment that I had applied previously, I can move my mouse on top of my picture and then click on the pin to make it active. Remember, the pin that has a black dot in the center is the active one. Right now, none of them are active. It'd be as if I'm making a new adjustment if I were to click on the image. But if I click on a pin, the black dot goes in the middle, so it's now active. And it shouldn't right now be showing that red overlay. In some reason, it gets stuck on it. If that happens, because it should only stay on there if this checkbox is turned on, which can be annoying. It happens on occasion. Just mouse over a different pin if there happens to be one, and then mouse away. And I find that that will get it to go away. So anyway, after you've clicked on one of the pins, that's when you can inspect the settings. So I can see that in that particular area, I was reducing saturation. If I want to see what I did in the other area, I just click on the other pin, make it active, and I can see what it did. I brought up shadow detail, and I made the image less colorful. And so that's how I think about it when I'm working on existing pins. Let's say I open an image 2 weeks after I initially adjusted it. And you can go ahead and modify those. You can just paint to add to them, or you can choose the erase option to erase them. Just make sure the pin you're thinking about has the black dot in the middle of it. But this image also used a different feature that is very similar to the adjustment brush. And so let's look at it. Right next to the adjustment brush is another tool, and it's known as the graduated filter. And I think the reason why it's called a filter instead of like a brush or something else is they're thinking about filters that you would put in front of the lens of your camera. You know, you can put various filters there, like a polarizing filter or something else. And one of those filters that's very commonly used in landscape photography would be a graduated neutral density filter. That's a filter where it's tinted at the top, you know, it's darker, it's like sunglasses at the top, and that fades out to a clear filter at the bottom. If you put that in front of your camera lens, you can make the sky get darker, but not darken the landscape that's at the bottom. So graduated neutral density filter is what's often used in the field, and they call this the graduated filter because it's similar to one of those in what you can do with it. So I'm going to click on that tool to make it active, and there's a little spot here on my screen meaning it's already been applied. I'll get rid of that by clicking on it and hitting the delete key.